Welcome back to AirJobBoss. I am the AirJobBoss, and this is AirJobBoss TV. So today, this is a continuation of our pilot interview question and answer series, and today I'm going to address a specific scenario that somebody might ask you about. And no matter what scenario is asked, there's a certain process that needs to be accomplished by you and certain things said by you to let the company know that your mind is in a professional pilot's mode of operation. They can count on that mode of operation when you are a captain at their airline, right? This is why they're asking you the scenarios to see just what you're going to say and do while you're an employee at their airline. So today's scenario is this. You're the first officer. Your captain is accomplishing an instrument approach to an airport and there is low-level wind shear reported. What do you do? The answer is right in your current operating manual. If you already work for an airline right now, a regional airline, it's already in your manual. So you're simply, in a very good CRM way, tell them what that process is. For example, it might be this. So you're going to mix your process that you know now with good CRM qualities, right? And the reason why you're going to tell them what you're doing now is because obviously you're currently working for an airline and you are following their policy, and that is very important quality that they're going to be looking for. One, that you know your current policy. Number two, that you can comply with the policy. And since you're the FO in this case, talking to a captain, they want to see that crew resource management ability to go up the chain of command and impress your opinions on the captain. And don't be surprised during this scenario that they follow up by moving that you narrower and narrower and having to be more intent on stating your position. So you're going to say this, but basically, okay, you start out by saying, well, as a first officer, a pilot monitoring, if there's low-level wind shear reported, my company's manual has policies associated with that. For example, there are thresholds where certain wind shear scenarios we are unable to approach, meaning we would have to hold or delay the approach or make deviations, diversion to another airport. And those are wind gusts greater than 30 miles an hour, crosswinds greater than 30 miles an hour, microburst activity on the airport, heavy rain showers on the airport. Those are some of those, tailwinds in excess of 10 knots. So those are some of the parameters where I tell the captain, based on our operating specifications, this exceeds our limitations and we cannot fly this approach. That's number one. Now, if the wind shear is a threshold where we're able to actually legally comply, I have to go through a process. Are we, as a crew member, even though it's legal, are we safe to do so? So is there any threats to our operation that are unusual? For example, do we have any MELs, meaning maintenance discrepancies that reduce our performance, like our speed brakes are not working, or the reverse thrust is not working. We're limited, or we're high altitude airport, so our go-around thrust is limited, yeah? So I would go through a process to make sure that even though we were safe, or even though we were legal, are we still safe? And if there's a safety concern, I, as a pilot monitoring and the first officer, am going to bring that up to the captain because he may, number one, not be aware, and number two, this is my direct responsibility written in our operations manual. I am to inform the captain of safety-related information immediately when I know it. Yeah, so that's what I do. Now, if we've determined that it's within our legal limitation, we're also safe to do it, I'm going to be the best pilot monitoring I can be. Now, that means that I'm going to get out the information if I have a quick reference checklist or information about what the company requires us to do or recommends us to do. For example, at my airline, it says, make sure you're landing with the greatest flap setting, with the auto brakes on a medium, with the runway that faces into the wind most directly. Review the wind shear go-around procedure prior to beginning the approach, and stuff like this. Okay, so you're going to list, I can't remember all of ours, but list those things, and you're going to go down that. And then as the approach, as we're going down the approach, I'm going to continuously monitor the wind situation and the weather situation. At any time it exceeds our limitation, I'm going to inform the captain. Anytime the performance of the aircraft is in question and I believe the safety is compromised, I'm going to inform the captain. Until we get on the ground, I'm going to do exactly what my book says, and I'm going to monitor the flight instruments and the weather and make sure that we can accomplish that landing, all the while being prepared to execute a go-around wind shear escape maneuver in the airplane. Right? So you're going to kind of go over that. One thing you want to make sure is that you're going to communicate to that, you're going to assist the captain. Not be a barrier for him to do the approach. Now they're going to say, well, what if you thought it was unsafe? Then you're going to say, I feel it was unsafe, and I'm going to ask the captain, how can I get over this particular issue? I feel that even though we're in crosswind limitations, the combination of these events, we have gusty winds. It's also a crosswind with heavy rain on the runway, and our speed brakes are not working. How is there some way we can improve the safety of this? Could we hold for 15 minutes and try to get better weather conditions, less rain on the landing surface? So you're going to make this communication. As they narrow you, then they're going to say something like, well, he wants to, now the weather is such that it exceeds your limitations, but the captain continues. In this case, you are to insist that he does not continue the approach. And they're going to be, oh yeah, well, what if he just says, I'm going to continue anyway? The reality is you're going to get to a point where you're going to say, Captain, I have control and I'm going to go around. It really might get to that point. Because what if, and they want to pose this question to you because they want to know, how far will you allow a pilot to go in a theoretical situation until you say you're going to do something? And they want to see you do something. They want to see you, in some cases, and you'll sense this, say, I'm going to take control and I'm going around. And that is when the captain is operating the aircraft with known negligence, when he is purposely breaking standard operating procedures or regulations and continuing to put the aircraft at crew and passengers at risk. That's when you say, I would take over control and I would go around, bringing the aircraft into a safer environment, right? That's what you're going to say. I'm going to take control of the aircraft and bring it into a safer environment. And in this case, it is to go around. I'm not going to continuously fight against this, but I'm going to use every resource I can to operate the aircraft and bring it to safety. Okay? Now, obviously, this is a complicated corner that they may put you in, but they may not put you in it too far. Main thing is, use all your CRM techniques, say the words, assist the captain, and stay in the game. Stay in the pilot monitoring mode and do your job all the way to that airplane gets on the ground. Yeah? All right. Thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on AirJobBoss TV.